you weren't ready.
I'm never ready. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve.
Yes.
It's still 2019.
Yeah.
For another 10 hours.
I'm ready to put a wrap to this year.
So am I. But we wanted to do a wrap-up video. This one's for my channel. We'll be doing one for his channel. I'll make sure to link his channel down below so you can go check it out too. But I wanted to do a 2019 wrap-up. Thank you, Paige Seckler, for the idea. You need to go check hers out too. I'll link it down below. Mine's not going to be the same as hers. She put a lot of work into hers, but she also had a lot of big things happen in her life this year. Us,
not so much.
Not so much. It was actually kind of a very bland year for us.
Yeah, it's not one of those year to remember, because no, I don't.
No, nothing really stood out. No major accomplishments. I don't want to say that entirely because I had a pretty big one, but that was the only exciting thing, which I'll talk about.
Yeah, I had a pretty big one too, but it goes pretty much hand in hand with yours, kind of.
Right. I'm going to include my 2020 resolutions in this too. I figured I wouldn't get enough out of just doing my 2019 wrap-up since this year just kind of wasn't real exciting. Let's just jump right in. One and only big change that I had really started happening in December of last year, so it was almost exactly a year from now that happened. And it started with you and I discussing a lot.
Yeah.
we had to sit and talk a lot, and I cried a lot, and I was stressed out and frustrated a lot. For those of you that didn't know, I worked at Sheetz for almost exactly 6 years. And nothing against the company. Amazing company, amazing job. I worked with amazing people. I met a lot of amazing people. And I learned a lot about myself and my work ethic and all of that. And I worked with some really great people. But it was a food industry. And it was also retail, and I knew that that was not my end point in life. That was just a stepping stone to future plans. I did not want to stay working with food. I don't like to cook. I don't like to do any of that at all. Yeah, he knows. And that's why when I was 16, I started in the food industry. First job, never left the food industry up until this year. So it started out with me making the decision, with his help mostly, that I wanted to leave my job of 6 years that had great benefits. I had decent pay. I worked with great people. I didn't want to do it anymore, and it was taking a toll on me mentally and emotionally, which was also taking a toll on our relationship.
We are not sponsored by Red Bull, but if Red Bull wants to sponsor us, feel free. I just gotta get some pre-game going because it's gonna be
a long night.
I can't even say that because we're low lifes and we'll be in bed probably at like 12:10. But anyway.
After our brief Red Bull intermission.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave my job of 6 years. The longest job I'd had, not counting my seasonal job, which will come up in a second. I basically made the decision that I subbed full-time. I was still coaching gymnastics, and with us living together, I didn't need the stress and anxiety of a food industry job. So I threw it out there on the world of Facebook. Gotta love Facebook for things like this because
I don't have a Facebook account, so.
No, but at this point, I'm very thankful. Not that it wouldn't have happened because of Facebook, but it was much more convenient.
Right.
So I threw it out there on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for, and I specifically said a summer job. because I know that I get enough work in the school year that I wouldn't need to work
A full-time.
a full-time job during the school year. He knew where I was trying to go with
Yeah.
that. So I threw it out there, and lo and behold, Mr. Houston,
He was amazing.
One of-
love him to death.
who in this last year has become more of family than boss,
Yeah.
sent me a message saying, I'm not sure what you're looking for, but we're looking for someone to lead activities and do social media work and all of that type of stuff for the campground. Now, for those of you who don't know, I work for Hickory Hollow Campground now. That was the big change from that, but I already knew the Houstons because of the haunted house. This was my 11th year at the haunted house. So he knew me since I was 16. So he contacted me specifically and said, if you want this, we'll see what we can do. So he basically 100% made and created a job for me. But by January, I was done with sheets completely. I didn't actually start working for the campground until May, even though the campground opens in April due to school. I still had like this like itch in my head saying, well, how is this going to happen? What's going to happen? What am I going to do?
Yeah, she was all beside herself, all worried because that's who she is.
I had no idea what I was walking into. I have only ever gone camping at a summer camp, or I went camping at Hickory Hollow one time the year before with him. I've never done social media work other than my own personal accounts. I started writing blogs before, but I was able to put myself more into that, which those of you who don't know, I have my bachelor's degree in education, and I have a minor in creative writing. And creative writing was like a passion of mine, and it kind of just fell into my lap. So, with that being said, with this job, I'm still able to do the things I'm very passionate about. I get to work with kids. I still get to write. I'm active on Facebook, Instagram, all of those things, which I enjoy, and I know a lot of people don't, and they're like, oh, social media, but I honestly am more calm when I'm not focusing on my problems in my head, if that makes any sense.
Coolest part about this job is if I want to go sit and hang out or go do some of the stuff, I can, and we take hands, she joins in.
Oh yeah, there's so many perks to this job that I get to involve him. We got to camp there with his family. We can take Ken's to do the activities. She got to participate in all of my activities that she was home for.
And Doug even came to her about the waterworks, and I went on the wagon with the kids, and I got some amazing pictures that like I'm really proud of.
Right. Every other Saturday morning, I have to work at the salon, so he stepped in and went and helped with the activities on those days with me.
Yeah,
when I couldn't
because
be there.
this was my 4th year at the haunted house, and like,
which is where we met.
yeah.
Aww.
And when it comes to Doug and Morg, if either one of them would ask me to do anything, like I would drop everything to go do it because they would do the same for me. Like, love them to death.
Like I said, they're more family than
Yeah, they
bosses,
took me in at a bad time, gave me the job, let me do what I wanted to do. When I went up to Doug the night of orientation and was like, hey, can I be a clown? He goes, absolutely. My name went on the board. Like, they let me be what I wanted to be and took me in right after a really hard time in my life. So it was really cool, and I respect them beyond.
Like I said, my biggest change this year was the campground and getting that job, which ended up being, which I know you've heard me say so many times before, the coolest job ever. If you haven't checked out my blog, my personal one started while I was at the campground. My campground one started there. I also do newsletters, all of those things. But if you haven't checked out my blogs or my videos from the haunted house season, you have to go check those out. Because the role at the campground ended up giving me a more prominent role at the haunted house, which also in turn ended up helping him move up in the haunted house too, because he could step in and help me more.
And we put so much time into the haunted house this year that the day after Christmas, we were already starting to talk haunted house.
Yeah, with my brother, because he's just as much of a haunted house nerd as what we are.
That's going to be a big thing in our life and hopefully one day we have our own.
A big accomplishment for me, seeing as though this is on YouTube and I've gotten into YouTube this year. Another thing that happened this year was starting my YouTube channel, and I haven't grown much, but hopefully we'll get farther and farther. But thanks to the haunted house, my most viewed videos were all about the haunted house, because I was able to kind of promote the haunted house that way and share it on the Facebook. So I thought that was kind of cool. My most viewed YouTube videos had to do with Haunted Hollow.
And there's more to come. Our biggest thing as a couple is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest accomplishment this year was becoming an airbrush artist and stepping up and doing that at the haunted house. So we've been talking, we're going to do some collab videos of me showing some makeup, her showing some distressing on hers. We talked to her brother, he's going to get in on it.
We have a lot of exciting things to come next year with YouTube and everything.
And while we're on the makeup, we have to do a shout out to Mikey.
Oh my gosh!
If you guys are not following or subscribed,
if you're a zombie, please like this video, please, because oh my God.
And if you're not, go right now and subscribe to Glam&Gore.
Please, please, please go subscribe to Glam&Gore, because if it weren't for Mikey and her old videos, not even like her newest ones, because I literally just started watching her newest ones.
I've been watching Mikey
these
for
last couple
4
of days.
years now.
But even her old videos have like inspired us and inspired me to want to try more. Like, can you see I actually have makeup on today? Like full on.
No,
makeup.
we're not cutting anybody down. Anybody that does makeup or special effects have super talents. But Mikey and Glam&Gore, like I said, I've been watching her for 4 years now, since I started the haunted house.
She's my girl crush.
She is amazing. She does some cool stuff. If any background on her, she started out doing makeup at a haunted house.
But she's from PA, so how freaking awesome is that? And she started at Terror in the Walls, which we know about. Never personally been there, want to go.
So we will put a link down below.
Yes, I will link Mikey down below, because you have to go check out Glam&Gore, because she's inspired us to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
But next part of 2019 that I was going to wrap up was our relationship.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. We celebrated our 2-year anniversary in August. If you haven't checked out my anniversary video to him, you should go check that out.
And I did one for her too, which was an easier way to get words out, even though I think I have like a couple hundred views on that.
Nothing real major with our relationship. It's been pretty much the same, other than I think we've grown to support each other more, and we're learning. With us only being together for 2 years, like that, a lot of people, that doesn't seem like a lot of time.
Right.
But we've learned a lot about each other in the last year, I think, too.
And in the last month and 2 months.
We've learned that we change and we grow every day together. We're so in sync at times that it's scary.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not...
We finish each other's sandwiches. For you Frozen fans out there.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Frozen again. Nothing's really changed major with us. We
went
still
to the
live
beach
together. We went to the beach with Ken's.
Which she has hers up, but like I lost.
Yeah.
I fell apart on YouTube a little bit and got away from it, but it'll all come back.
The beach. As you know, my 27th birthday happened while we were at the beach. So this year for 2019, I was officially 27 years old. So, yeah. The other thing with our relationship that we started was our YouTubes together. He initially started without me.
Yeah, I'm coming up on 2 years on here.
And I started
March.
this year.
Yeah.
But we started working together on it and kind of trying to help each other grow.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Which that's coming too, guys. We're going to start going live, because I know when you go live, you grow faster and stuff. So
I love whenever
watch out for that.
you big YouTubers do premieres and stuff. Like, it'll be cool. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. Family, at least personally, this was probably the hardest and some of the lowest points of this year.
But let's start off with a high point. A high point for me is I got to watch her and Kenzie grow from best friends as a little bit better of a relationship than best friends.
Yes.
So
I still can't do or say anything without hearing my name first from her.
800 times.
800 times, which is awesome. I definitely am happy for that. That is a high point.
That was a really high point for me because like I was worried it wasn't going to happen.
And there is a high point that goes along with the really low points too. So again, I feel like I talk about this in every video, but seeing as though this is a wrap up of 2019, I have to bring it up again. I lost Pat. That was probably the lowest point of this year. But a high point out of that was my immediate family got a lot closer during that point in time. Corey stepped in majorly and helped out in that time. Our immediate family grew and got a lot closer, which I'm very thankful for.
I got to meet her real uncle
My
on her
biological
mom's side, and he's really a good guy. He was fun to talk to and stuff, so
Yes.
that was cool.
You've also gotten closer with my great uncle, who is from my mother's biological family. If you didn't know that, I've mentioned it like once before. My mom was adopted. My grandfather that passed was adoptive, not biological.
But
does not make it any less family.
Your mom was adopted at
a very, very young age.
10.
Not any different. She never knew any different. We just, as she got older, gained more family, which is, there's never anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I was taking her great uncle hunting and stuff. It was fun.
That's a positive. The negative was Pap, my Uncle Ted, and the other one was cutting ties with toxic family members. I'm not going to name them because I have cut those ties, and obviously if they were...
Now,
if it was much more important, then I would go into detail about it.
I was raised families forever and all this and that, but if there is family out there that does nothing but puts you down, belittles you, and makes you feel just below average.
I can do a whole separate video on how I handled it and what happened if you would want to know more about dealing with toxic family members and how to cut ties with them. I can do all that in a separate video because I don't want to focus on the negative because it's done, it's over with, and I'm a much happier and better person by cutting those ties. Hear me talk more about that or us talk more about that, comment below. We'll gladly do a video on that, a very personal heart-to-heart talk if that's what you want to see. Me reflecting on my resolutions for 2019. And I made a few, and I'll be honest, I didn't meet hardly any of them. I think I met one main one, and the only reason I met it was because I love to read. So, to go into depth with that one, my reading goal, or reading resolution for 2019 was to read a book a month. So that meant 12 books in the year. I surpassed that goal before August even hit, before I went back to school, everything. I think by now I am up to 15 books for 2019. So I passed that goal, but I probably wouldn't have if I wouldn't have read so much prior to the school year starting. It's unreasonable to wait for January 1st and say, I'm going to change these things, I'm going to do this right now. Like, you kind of...
Baby steps.
Exactly. As much as I hate that term.
Baby steps.
You have to. And you should start before the new year. So that way your body is used to that change by now. Anyway, back to reflecting. I have been drinking more water. That was one of my resolutions. I have been doing that mostly because we don't keep anything in the house other than water.
And Red Bull.
And Red Bull. I literally live off of water, Red Bull, and coffee.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds bad.
But there's still water in there, so it equals out.
My another resolution was to do more yoga.
Yeah, that lasted like 4 months.
I still love it. I still love it. And that's going to go into my new resolutions. I need to just get motivated again. And I think by changing my lifestyle in other ways will help me get motivated to get back to that point. That was a big thing. And then my other resolution was to write more, which I did write more this year. Again, when I hit that school mark of school starts. My birthday's over. School's here in 2 weeks. I have to get in that mindset again. I stopped writing.
Yeah. Once she stepped away from the campground for the season, it was boop.
I plan to do more, and like I've shown you all in my prior vlogs, my journaling, I have been keeping up with this pretty well. There's a couple days where just not a lot happens, so I just kind of combine them. But yeah, so that's a plan. These are my 2020 resolutions. I don't go crazy. That's not me. And I'm not a super health nut, fitness junkie, none of those things. So my resolutions are very, I don't know.
They're not out of reach.
They're not out of reach. Like, I tried to make myself goals that I knew I could accomplish in order to feel accomplished, because I think that that's a big problem that people have, was they'll set goals that are out of their reach.
Yeah, they're going to set goals like, I'm going to lose 115 pounds. No, just set a goal, you're going to lose 15 pounds and you'll be happy with
and
yourself.
then once you pass it, you'll be happy. And then you can build on that. So mine, I can build off of. My first one is to write more, which is the same thing I had last year, but I added on. I want to not only write more, but I want to love what I write. So I want to be passionate about what I write. I want to write things that make me happy. And I have been working on that a little bit here and there. So, number 2 is to YouTube more. God, I love YouTube.
Yeah, the biggest thing for both of us, and I'm going to do a video here when we're done, but is going live. You can get so many subs going live. You get more viewing time going live. And you get to just interact. Like, I miss people. I had named Mr. Dexter Tang, and he would get on all the time, and like, we had a blast. Like, I miss people. We made good friends with the Smiths from Florida. I haven't talked to them since I haven't been live, and like, I just miss you guys. You guys are amazing.
So that's kind of both of our resolution, was to get more into YouTube. For me personally, I'm enjoying documenting everything in our life.
Yeah.
I need to find more ways that make it easier for me to do that, and eventually I'll get to that point. But I love being able to look back on what we've done before.
My biggest thing, and I don't care if I ever make $1 on YouTube, it was the friends that I had and made in just, you know, a year worth of time. I had some really cool friends on YouTube.
Right. Finding what I love to do, whether it be trying out DIY hacks. I'm not a makeup artist, so that's kind of out of the question.
That goes along with, if anybody watched Outlaw's video last night, he does mixtures. Like, he'll do, of course, reviews, he does hunting videos, then he does, like, short skits to where he went and dyed his hair red and stuff like that. He said that you have to mix it up. Now, he's been doing it for years, like 12 years, but you have to mix up so you don't get bored.
Right, which I plan on too, and a lot of my YouTubers do, but I need to find something that's kind of consistent throughout that suits me.
Like a go-to.
Yeah, like, even like things as stupid as little catchphrase, like Mikey's yellow zombies. Like, that's the cutest thing, and like, I want things like that. And eventually, as I grow and my YouTube channel grows and I do get more followers, that'll happen. My next resolution, which will be my resolution for the rest of my life, is to learn more. I am always up for learning new things, new skills, new traits. The biggest thing this year that I want to learn is how to better myself on YouTube and with all of my work for the campground, whether that be graphic design, videos, anything that can better my work there.
Right, and that is
my goal.
That's another goal for both of us. I have to try to get her out of the classroom because she's just not happy there anymore. And the way that the schools are going these days, it's like, you gotta be afraid to go to school. So that's one of our goals.
Again, if you want to hear my opinion on what I think about the education system and what I think about school, personally, I don't want to do it anymore, and that's why I'm trying to have this lifestyle change and shift into something completely different, because I'm not happy anymore doing that. And it's not the kid. There's so many different factors that could be a whole different topic.
Right, but that's a goal that we got.
But it is a goal. The only thing that is somewhat fitness related, I can't even say fitness, I need to be more active, just in general. I'm much more active in the summer than what I am in the winter. I hate winter. I hate snow. I hate being cold.
I hate being cold.
So I don't like to go outside. I don't like to do things.
So we watch a lot of movies, but
yes.
It's getting old. Like, we gotta figure some stuff
so
out.
That's something, and physically, in order to take care of myself and to feel better for myself, that's the only reason I want to be active, is just to take care of myself, because I'm 27. I'm not going to stay in the best physical shape for the rest of my life without putting some sort of work into it. And if that means yoga, that means yoga. Another one is to be fearless. To be more fearless whenever it comes to trying new things.
Which, she's not far from that, because, like, especially food and stuff. I mean, she will try anything once.
I will try anything at least once.
Which is really...
Personal thing here with being fearless was not being afraid to try things, knowing that I might not end up with the result that I want. Oh,
yeah, she is.
I'm terrible when it comes to failure.
Yeah.
I've picked up so many things that I got frustrated with and just dropped. I don't like failure. I need someone who is a good teacher in order to learn off of. I can't sit and watch a YouTube video where they're like, okay, we're going to slow this down for you, and then their fans are like, oh, yes.
Anybody, go watch the beginner tutorials for crocheting and tell me if they are true beginner videos, because no, why?
That's my thing, is I need to be fearless. I can't be afraid to fail. And my biggest one, which I've been working towards a lot recently, is to focus on what makes me happy. I want to set goals, and I want to try. I'm going to start small. We're going to start with baby steps. I don't want to just settle because, oh, I make good money and I can do this for the rest of my life easily.
And no
I
matter
don't
what,
want that. I want to challenge myself.
Yeah, you can always, I don't care what profession you're in, you can always better yourself, and there's always something to learn no matter what profession it is.
Right. The biggest thing on focusing on what makes me happy is, I feel like personally, I need to take the time to focus on myself 100%, taking care of myself physically, doing what makes me happy, and not only that, but focusing on us as a couple and with our relationship. We do spend a lot of time together. We spend a lot of time together, but a lot of our time is spent doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we need to focus more on what makes us happy together.
The only time that I get away is if I go hunting, and she hit me this year that she wants to start hunting. Between her and Ken's, they will both have the equipment to go. Kenzie got a CrossFit this year for Christmas,
which you saw in my video.
She
if you
is
didn't watch it, go watch it.
Pumped about. And
the biggest goals for me are focusing on making myself happy, focusing on our relationship, being fearless, being more active, to learn more, to YouTube more, and to write more. Nothing far-fetched, nothing out of reach, nothing that I can't physically accomplish and actually feel good about. So hopefully 2020 treats us much better than 2019. Not to say it was terrible, it wasn't terrible, it was just not exciting for us. No. But thank you, everyone who has been here with me and with us for the last year, for him 2 years. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, and hopefully you see us in the future grow and change.
Yeah, you know, when I started this, I thought it was going to be a joke. I never thought that I was going to do 2 years later, still doing this. And still
it's
having
fun.
I mean,
it's so much fun, and we are learning new things.
She says it's so much fun, guys, and she's never went live yet, so... Because that's when it gets fun, when you can
Look
have...
for that in 2020. We're going to go live pretty directly.
We might even go live tomorrow. We might do like a Wednesday, something like that. We'll figure it out, but...
Yeah. We'll figure something out to go live pretty regularly, and it'll be starting pretty directly. So make sure you watch out for that. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year tomorrow for everybody in 2020, and let's hope for a much better year.
Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna bring it in with a bang.
And even though I added in my 2020 resolutions, I am ending the 2019 at midnight, and we're not looking back. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button,
and crack the bell.
Please,
so you know.
please, even though according to Mikey it doesn't. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2020.